Snow Falling on Cedars by David Gutterson. I just finished reading this book. 3.5 stars. I definitely recommend it. 3.5 out of 5. And I know some of you are like, why not 5, Leo? Let's get into it. What is Snow Falling on Cedars about? It's set right after the attack on Pearl Harbor, about 10 years later. A Japanese man is on trial for the murder of a white male fisherman. And this is a time where there's some anti-Japanese sentiment, right? Well, like when we can we trust them? Who are they? And so they're definitely just trying to make this court case go as fast as possible, find this guy guilty, and be done with things. Love, longing, and loneliness. On page 39, and this is once again, it's not spoiling anything. In terms of the loneliness that you experience, it's set in Cedars, a snowstorm, stores are shutting down, people are raiding the local grocery store, the power goes down on occasion, is that type of snowstorm, right? It says, quote, and this is talking about the fishermen in the town. San Pedro men learned to be silent. Occasionally, though, and with enormous relief, they communicated with one another on the docks at dawn. Though tired and still busy, they spoke from deck to deck of what happened during the night and of things only they could understand. The intimacy of it, the comfort of other voices giving credence to their private myths, prepared them to meet their wives with less distance than they might otherwise bring home after fishing. In short, they were lonely men and products of geography, island men who on occasion recognized that they wished to speak but couldn't. What? If that doesn't say anything about loneliness, I don't know what does. It's a small town. And then it further goes on to say in another part of the book where they talk about because it's a small town, people look out for one another. But also because it's a small town, once you've made an enemy, you've made that enemy for life. So what happens is everybody in this town is biting their tongue, walking on eggshells. Yes, they're polite, they're pleasant, but no one is saying what they really think, feel, believe, desire, or want for fear out of making an enemy. Because once again, once you made an enemy, that's your enemy for life, which then contributes to this loneliness and this narrow view of the world. They don't ever get a chance to really entertain or expand their thoughts, have ideas, or start all over as a person like you would in a bigger city. So you are who you are. You kept to yourself. You demonstrated competence, and that was it, right? So loneliness, and then there's love, and there's a part in the book where they talk about love, and she says, "Oh, that's not it." Uh, she talks about how practical love is. She's page 225. She says, love was nothing close to what she imagined as a girl growing up near Cure. And I think that was in Japan. It was less dramatic and far more practical than her girlhood had led her to believe. End quote. So, I think a lot of times we think about love as being this very dramatic, TV novella, action movie, or what have you. But really, love is quiet, it's nuanced, it's practical, um, it's uh, it's consistent, is being consistent, right? It's not the fireworks. It's not the big excitement or the wild weekends. It's the holding hands, staying up late to talk to each other, paying the bills, taking each other to doctor's appointments, checking on in on each other, right? Bringing a cup of coffee in the morning, that kind of thing. Like that's love. It's not the flowers and the limo and all those things, right? It's more of the practical things. and really feeling seen, really feeling seen by your partner. So that's what we learn in this book of what love really is not the Hollywood romance story that we're sold. And then it's a book about longing. You know, a lot of the people move to San Pedro, which is a place, but it reminds me of like in Alaska, like one of those remote, like Skagway or Saskatchewan or one of those remote areas in Alaska. It's a fishing town. A lot of them they don't want to leave Japan. You know, most immigrants don't want to leave home. They feel forced out. They feel like the government is corrupt. There's no upward mobility. It's dangerous. There are threats to their lives, to their children, and so they feel forced to leave to make a better way for their family. So there's this longing of being home, a longing of honoring the ancestors of you know, the people who have come before us. There's and then there's a longing for a better world, a better life that they all want, but they no matter whether they're Japanese or you know, born in America. Um, you know, no matter what their ethnicity or their culture, where they're back, they all feel hemmed in one way or the other. They either feel hemmed in by the geography or by the culture or by the politics. Everyone feels like they have constraints on them for different reasons. One, some even have physical constraints due to injuries incurred during the war, and then some have psychological constraints, the PTSD of going to war, and then also of you know, waiting for the person to come home and hoping that not only do they come home, but they come home kind of the same person. They don't come home different. So there's a lot of love, longing, and loneliness that this book is centered around. I definitely recommend it. Check it out. Let me know if you've read it and what did you think? What did you think of the review? What are your ideas? And then what are you reading next? Peace. I have no idea.